everybody. Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, April the 3rd. It's race number 5 at Tampa Bay Downs, the opening leg of a 50-cent pick 5 wager. Let's take a peek at this field. We're going 7/8 of a mile. This race is for fillies and mares. It's a second level allowance with a 32,000 claiming option, and the morning line favorite is the 4, Athena's Wisdom. Tepid morning line favorite in this competitive field, 3-1 on the line, based on the fact that she's won her last 2 races, including her most recent start at this distance, and she's very pace adaptable, which could be key as we take a look at our Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US doesn't believe this pace is going to be blazing hot, but it could be competitive, with the 1 Music Amore, a recent gate-to-wire winner, going 2 turns, likely to face a little bit of pace heat from her next-door neighbor, the number 2 Awesome Pick. The horse on the outside in here is the 6 Sequin Lady. She's got good tactical speed and a nice attack post position, but the 4 Athena's Wisdom is tactical as well, and likely will tuck in behind the early leaders. If this pace is blazing hot, keep an eye on the 3 both sides. That one is the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. But we'll kick things off with Music Amore, a horse that was claimed for $20,000 2 starts back and made hay for the new connections right away. This is her first start for them, going 2 turns, and she just was able to shake loose from the rail draw. She opened up an uncontested lead in the blink of an eye and kept right on rolling to take this $25,000 open claimer, and she earned a very competitive 71 buyer speed figure. The key for her is the distance. She's going to have to cut back to 7 furlongs. She has won around 1 turn in the past, an off-turf 1-turn mile stakes race back in 2022 at Laurel Park. Most of her work, though, has been done around 2 turns. We'll see if Music Amore can duplicate her last race, turning back to a 7-furlong sprint, but she's very competitive off the number earned in that most recent start. Awesome Pick is the number 2, and I have a feeling this filly is slowly racing herself back into shape. This race on Wednesday will be her 3rd start since a fall layoff. Her first race back came going 3/4 of a mile. She worked out a pretty good trip. She ran just fine. She came back last time out. She was engaged in a pace battle, and then she tired. I don't think she necessarily needs the lead to be successful, but she's going to be close to the pace under Daniel Centeno. Maybe they let the 1 go to the front. She's sitting in closest attendance and is in attack mode on the turn. 7-2 on the morning line for Awesome Pick, who has a sort of a good bad buyer speed figure pattern, maybe leading into a good race on Wednesday. Both sides is the 3, and I like the turf to dirt move for both sides. They tried that 2 starts back at this class level, and I thought she ran very well. The pace looks fast in that race, and I believe it was. 22-1, 45 for the half, and we're going to see both sides get up, keep on for 3rd in here after a wide trip. You'll note that this race is dominated by horses coming from the back of the pack. Both sides was close to the pace that day, and I think it bodes well that there are other speeds to set things up for both sides. When she won at this distance moving synthetic to dirt back to November, she sat just off the pace. Antonio Gallardo aboard likely will do the right thing and have both sides running at the very end. Athena's Wisdom is the number 4. Here's your morning line favorite, scoring over track and trip most recently. This is a first level allowance race, and this pace was pretty competitive. It's set up very nicely for Athena's Wisdom, who rolls by them all late. The 6th place finisher of this race would come back to win a $20,000 claimer with a 71 buyer speed figure. Athena's Wisdom's buyer speed figures are a little bit light recently compared with some of the top contenders, but I think you could question those buyer speed figures earned by some of the top buyer earners in this race, whether it be distance or simply a questionable number. Athena's Wisdom fits. I'm not sure how low I would go on the tote as she steps up in class, but she is in very good form. C Art is the number 5, and this mare is also in excellent form. Here's her most recent win, going 3/4 of a mile. She's won 2 of her last 3 starts, and like Athena's Wisdom, I thought C Art got a very good race flow in here. They went the opening quarter in 21-3. C Art and Pablo Morales sat near the back of the pack and came with a good strong run to just get up. So things were in her favor from a race shape standpoint. That being said, she's been very consistent for most of her career. She's been in the exacta 9 of 17 and has won 2 of her 3 starts this meet at Tampa Bay Downs. Another horse that seems adaptable to the pace. If it's slower, she can be closer, and that could help her out at 7 furlongs, a distance she won 3 starts back. Sequin Lady is perhaps the most polarizing horse in this race because off the layoff in her first 2 starts this meet, she ran at this level to no avail. One going 2 turns in January, and I'll give her that race. Her first start off the layoff, she showed early speed, she tired, maybe that distance isn't what she wants. She cut back to 7 at this class 2 starts back. She showed speed and she tired again pretty badly against both sides. So based on those two races, the connections decided, well, we're going to drop her in class, and they dropped her in for the dime last time out, and Sequin Lady gave a much improved performance. She pushed the pace on the outside, she takes over into the stretch, she always finds a little bit more, and perhaps what's most intriguing about this effort is the Beyer speed figure. It comes back a career best 77, which exceeds the Beyer par for this second level allowance condition. The Beyer just seems a little bit out of whack for Sequin Lady. Yes, she has run numbers like this in the past, but over a synthetic surface, and you got to go pretty far back, last spring, the spring of 2023. Sequin Lady to me is the biggest question mark in this race, because if she can repeat that last Beyer, she's obviously going to be a strong contender. Before we take a look at my top selections for this race, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, I'm going to go with the 6, Sequin Lady. She's 9-2 on the morning line. I won't take much less because I do question that Beyer. The time of that race just seemed a little bit out of whack with the other dirt races at Tampa Bay on the Ides of March. If she can run back to the 77, and I think a good trip is coming, a 3-wide pace tracking trip, attack mode on the turn, should be in the thick of things turning into the stretch, I think she can be right there. Again, she does have back Beyer speed figures that would make her competitive, albeit over a synthetic surface. Sequin Lady, my top selection in the Wednesday DRF race of the day. Best of luck.